mysterious location, a convoy of gang members pulls up in front of a guarded compound. Without hesitation, they step out and make their way inside. Host escorts meet them at the entrance and lead them through a narrow hallway. Along the way, several captives sit motionless on the floor, hands tied behind their backs, heads covered in black cloth. No words are exchanged. The visitors glance, then keep walking. They enter a tense meeting room. Both sides take their seats, facing each other in silence. Moments later, a representative breaks it. He proposes merging both gangs under one rule. The offer lands hard, but is quickly shut down. Talks collapse. Nothing is agreed. After the failed meeting, one man from the host side is pulled aside. He gives his verdict. The deal can't be trusted, it must be rejected. Moments later, the group exits the building. The scene moves to a hospital. Taegu, dressed in a sharp suit, arrives late and heads straight through the lobby. He's there to pick up his sister, Jae-kyung, who just finished her treatment. In the lobby, he meets his young niece, June, waiting beside her mother. After gathering Jae-kyung's things, the three walk together down the corridor. As they move, she quietly points out how much weight he's lost and reminds him he promised to walk away from his dangerous life. Moments later, they reach the parking lot. One of Taegu's men waits behind the wheel. Jae-kyung and Jiun get into the car, where a small gift sits ready for the child in the back seat. At that moment, Taegu makes sure everything is in place, then tells them to head to his home and get some rest. He stays behind, needing to speak with the doctor. Back inside, Taegu meets the physician who's been treating his sister. In a quiet consultation room, the truth is laid bare. Her condition has taken a sharp turn for the worse. Medically, there's little hope left. Taegu steps out without a word and heads to the lower floor of the hospital. He takes a seat by the pharmacy window, casually scrolling through his phone. Then, a call comes in. It's his man driving Jae-kyung and June. Taegu answers, but the line suddenly cuts off mid-sentence. He stares at the screen, tries calling back, but nothing goes through. The scene shifts. On a quiet stretch of highway, a car lies in ruins, blown apart by a brutal explosion. It's the same car carrying Jae-kyung and her daughter. Both are killed instantly. The driver, one of Taegu's men, survives but is badly injured and rushed to the hospital. The moment Taegu hears the news, he races to the crash site. He approaches what's left of the vehicle, twisted metal, scorched frame. Among the wreckage, he finds something. The small gift box meant for June, burned and broken. That's when the truth hits. His sister and niece are gone. The last of his family has been taken. At the funeral, two coffins rest side by side in the mourning hall. Taegu stands at the front, dressed in black, his face covered by a mask. A few men from the organization are present, scattered quietly along the walls. Soon, Mr. Young arrives with his team. He steps forward, gives a brief bow to the coffins, then walks over to Taegu. They speak in low tones at the edge of the room, eyes scanning the space as they talk. During their exchange, the name Chairman Do of the Buksong gang comes up. He's the one behind the attack. He had once tried to pull Taegu into his group through a middleman, but Taegu refused. That choice now has deadly consequences. After the quiet conversation, Mr. Yang leaves. Taegu stays behind, keeping watch over the coffins of his sister and niece. Later, the two meet again, this time seated on a bench at the edge of the hall. Taegu makes his request clear. He wants a meeting with Chairman Do. He's ready to strike back. Mr. Yang agrees, not just to help a loyal man, but because he, too, has unfinished business with the Buksong gang. What began as a silent vow at a funeral now sharpens into a blade of vengeance. In a world where peace is bought with betrayal, there's no room for redemption, only retribution. This is Night in Paradise. Several days later, the meeting is set. Taegu and Chairman Do sit down inside a sauna, speaking calmly at first. Everything seems normal. Then, Taegu steps out, saying he needs to rinse off. In the shower room, He washes like usual until the moment shifts. Without warning, he strikes. A guard waiting outside is quickly taken down. Taegu grabs a hidden blade and storms back into the sauna. In a single, brutal move, he kills Chairman Do. With the job done, Taegu slips out through a back window and runs into the street. A getaway car is waiting. He jumps in and speeds off. At the same time, Mr. Yang makes his move. He orders his men to hit the Buksong gang's main base. Their next target, Director Ma, the gang's second-in-command. After taking out Chairman Do, Taegu meets with Mr. Yang to confirm the job is done. Mr. Yang wastes no time. He tells Taegu to leave the country and head to Russia. Everything is ready. Fake documents, money, and a clean route out. But first, Taegu needs to disappear for a while. Mr. Yang sends him to Jeju Island to stay low for a week. He'll be staying at a remote property owned by a trusted contact, Kudo, an arms dealer. When Taegu lands in Jeju, he's picked up by Jae-yun, Kudo's niece. She's harsh, blunt, and clearly doesn't care how she comes across. Elsewhere, Kudo is busy running weapons deals. He's working with members of the Busan gang, planning to ship illegal arms into Japan using seafood routes as cover. During the deal, Kudo stays distant and cold, keeping his guard up, even with his own allies. Like his niece, he speaks little and keeps everyone at arm's length. Not long after, Taegu finally arrives at Kudo's house. They share a meal, but the mood is cold and tense. Kudo doesn't hide his displeasure. He asks bluntly how long Taegu plans to stay. It's clear he doesn't want him there. Taegu explains that Mr. Yang arranged for him to flee to Russia. But when he mentions Vladivostok, Jae-yun's irritation shows. Her attitude hardens, turning even colder. Back in Seoul, Mr. Yang receives bad news. One of his men walks in with an urgent report. Director Ma escaped the attack. Worse, Chairman Do is still alive. Despite the hit, he survived and is now under heavy guard in a hospital. Moments later, Director Ma personally calls Mr. Yang. He delivers a clear threat. What's coming next will be far worse. The warning rattles Mr. Yang. Without Taegu, his entire plan to destroy the Buksong gang is falling apart. The next morning, Taegu sat on his mattress when sudden gunshots broke the silence. He looked outside and saw Jae-yun in the backyard, firing at bottles with cold precision. Her aim was sharp, her moves fast. But without warning, she turned the gun on herself and raised it to her head. Taegu rushed toward her in shock. She pulled the trigger, but the gun was empty. Without a word, she walked off, leaving Taegu frozen, shaken by what he had just seen. Meanwhile, Director Ma delivered on his threat. One of Mr. Yang's men was found murdered, his mutilated body sent back as a brutal message. Cornered and running out of options, Mr. Yang reached out to Mr. Park, the high-ranking figure who oversees criminal groups like the Buksong gang. He requested a private meeting with Director Ma, hoping to stop the violence before it spiraled further. Back on Jeju Island, Taegu later found Jae-yun passed out in a car, a syringe still in her hand. Kudo moved fast. He grabbed an antidote and injected it in her arm, then told Taegu to rush her to the hospital. On the drive, Kudo revealed the truth. Jae-yun was gravely ill, with little time left. It wasn't her first attempt, and while they save her this time, the clock was running out. Kudo had been making plans to get Jae-yun out of the country for treatment, convinced her chances would improve overseas. But the cost of flying her to the U.S. and paying for care was overwhelming. Meanwhile, Mr. Yang and Director Ma finally sat down for a private meeting. Mr. Park, a high-level figure in the crime world, acted as the mediator. But Director Ma refused to make peace. He saw the attack on the Buksong gang as a personal insult, one that couldn't be ignored. Even when Mr. Park laid down heavy warnings, Ma didn't flinch. With Chairman Do still in the hospital, Ma now had full control and wasn't afraid to use it.
내가 쪽팔려서 말이야. 어디 얼굴을 들고 다닐 수가 없어.
Back in Jeju, Jae-yun regained consciousness and demanded to leave the hospital early. Taegu was waiting and drove her home, but she asked to stop at a roadside diner. They sat down, shared a meal, and had drinks. For the first time, Jae-yun let her guard down. Her tone softened. Her words were calmer. For once, she treated Taegu with quiet respect. On the drive back, Taegu got a call from Mr. Yang. Over the phone, Yang claimed everything had fallen apart. The plan to kill Chairman Do and destroy the Buksong gang had failed. He said he was now heading to Russia too, ready to escape alongside Taegu. But the truth was very different. In a secret meeting with Director Ma and the organization's top brass, Mr. Yang made his move. To save himself, he turned on Taegu, blaming him entirely for the attack. He claimed Taegu acted alone. The leaders agreed. Taegu would take the fall. Back in the car, Jae-yun began pressing Taegu for answers. She wanted to know why he had really come to Jeju. In frustration, she called him out, accusing him of running away from his past instead of facing it. Elsewhere, Kudo was in the middle of another weapons deal with the Busan gang. As always, the meet took place at a secret spot. But this time it was a trap. During the exchange, the gang turned on him. Russian enforcers joined in. Kudo was stabbed repeatedly. The setup was no accident. It had been planned by Mr. Yang from the start. Kudo fought back hard, but the numbers overwhelmed him. Within minutes, he was dead. Just as they arrived home, Taegu and Ji-yun heard gunfire coming from the warehouse. Without hesitation, they took cover and returned fire. Russian gunmen were already spread across the property. After taking out several of the attackers outside, they rushed into the warehouse, only to find Kudo lying dead. The sight of her uncle's body pushed Ji-yun over the edge. She grabbed a pistol and gunned down the remaining members of the Busan gang. Once the area was clear, Taegu loaded a bag with weapons and told her they had to leave. But Jae-yun refused. Grief took over. She couldn't walk away. In the end, Taegu had to force her into the car and drive off. On the road, her breakdown got worse. She screamed, demanded the car be stopped, and even bit Taegu's hand in a panic. He finally pulled over near the beach to calm her down. Once she settled, they continued driving to a safe house. One of Kudo's trusted contacts had made it available. That night, they reached the quiet home. The host welcomed them in and offered shelter. After the chaos and loss, it was the first moment they could finally breathe. Later that night, Taegu sat alone outside the house, quietly smoking. Jae-yun soon joined him. They sat together, drinking in silence, until she finally opened up. For the first time, she spoke about her past. Jae-yun shared that both of her parents were murdered by a Russian gang when she was a teenager.
삼촌 때문에.
A loss that left her carrying a deep, lasting hatred. After their deaths, Kudo took her in and raised her like his own. At first, she resented him, especially because he was part of the same violent world that destroyed her family. Jae-yun had even wished him dead. But now that he was actually gone, the weight of that loss hit her hard. Once again, she was left alone. As the night wore on and the drinks took effect, Jae-yun began to lose control. Taegu helped her to her room. Inside, she asked him to stay. But Taegu gently turned her down. He calmly explained his choice, then stepped away, leaving her to rest. The next morning, Taegu got a call from Mr. Yang. He said he was flying to Jeju and asked Taegu to meet him at the airport. After the call, Taegu took Ji-yun out for a ride on his motorcycle. They stopped at a quiet seaside restaurant for lunch, looking out at the ocean. As they talked, something changed. The distance between them began to fade, and a quiet bond started to form. After lunch, they headed back to the house. Soon after, Taegu got ready to leave for the airport. Just before he walked out, Jae-yun stopped him. She looked uneasy, like she could feel something wasn't right. Taegu gave her a few calm words, promising he'd be back soon. But at the airport, things were already in motion. Mr. Yang and Director Ma were there, waiting. As Taegu approached, his phone rang. It was a trusted contact. The warning was clear. Mr. Yang had set him up. The plan was to kill him, and Taegu wasn't the only one betrayed. Everyone involved in the earlier attack had been marked for death. Seconds after delivering the message, the caller was killed by Mr. Yang. As soon as Taegu saw Director Ma walking in with Mr. Yang, he knew it was a setup. Without wasting a second, he ran. Director Ma's men chased him through the airport, down hallways, stairwells, escalators, and out into the street. Taegu jumped into a car and sped off, but his escape didn't last. He crashed into a barrier and was hit from behind. Surrounded, the attackers moved in and stormed the wrecked car. Trapped but not giving in, Taegu fought back. Against the odds, he took down several of them and hijacked another car to get away. He raced straight to Kudo's relative's house, desperate to find Jae-yun. But she was already gone. Room after room, empty. Then he found out she was heading to Kudo's old home. Taegu called her with a warning, urging her to turn back. But she wouldn't listen. She kept going. On the way, Taegu got another call, this time from Mr. Yang. Yang tried to justify his betrayal, claiming he had no choice. Then the call shifted. Director Ma came on the line with a clear threat. He ordered Taegu to meet him immediately and revealed they had captured Jae-yun. Taegu could hear Jae-yun's voice in the background. She begged him not to come, saying it was too late for her. But Taegu didn't stop. He was going to save her, no matter what. When he arrived at the location, it was a trap. Director Ma's men attacked and beat him badly before dragging him inside. There, the final truth was revealed. Chairman Do hadn't ordered the hit on Taegu's sister and niece. It was Mr. Yang all along. Hearing the truth, Taegu launched himself at Mr. Yang. A violent knife fight broke out. Both men slashed and stabbed, each refusing to go down. As Mr. Yang began to weaken, Director Ma stepped forward and handed him a knife, urging him to finish Taegu. But Taegu wasn't done. He kept fighting until one of Director Ma's men struck the final blow. The blade pierced deep. Taegu collapsed, dead on the spot. They set fire to the building with his body still inside. From a distance, Jae-yun watched in silence as flames lit up the night sky. Days later, Jae-yun made her move. She climbed onto a motorcycle, carrying a bag packed with weapons. She rode straight to the gang's hideout, where Director Ma and his men were based. Without flinching, she walked in. Inside, Jae-yun opened fire. One by one, she took down every man standing. When the last guard dropped, she shot Director Ma and Mr. Yang without hesitation. With the job done, she walked to the shoreline. Alone, she stared out at the sea. Behind her, the sound of sirens slowly approached. And that's where it ends. So the moral of the story is, never hold an important gang meeting in a sauna. Sweaty people make sweaty decisions.